Fellow citizens of Burkina Faso, brothers and sisters of Mali and Niger, today marks a turning point, not just for our three nations, but for the entire African continent. For the first time in our history, Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger have officially launched a united joint army, a powerful force born from solidarity, dignity, and a shared vision of sovereignty. This is not an army built for aggression. It is an army of protection, of liberation, and of African unity. For too long, we have relied on foreign forces to protect our lands while our people suffered. That time is over. Together, we are building a defense system by Africans for Africans, one that will defend our people, secure our borders, and dismantle the terror networks that have been funded and fueled from outside our continent. This historic alliance is a message to the world. The era of exploitation is over. We are no longer divided and vulnerable. We are united, determined, and ready to stand up for our nations, shoulder to shoulder. This joint force will train together, fight together, and build a future where our children no longer live in fear. And let it be clear, any threat to one of us is a threat to all of us. Let the world witness a new chapter in African history, where sovereignty is no longer a slogan, but a reality. We are writing that history with our courage, our unity, and our blood, if necessary. Long live the alliance of Sahel states. Long live a free and sovereign Africa.
Welcome to Talk of Africa 360, your source for insightful news, analysis, and thoughtful commentary. If you value informed perspectives and fact-based reporting, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss an update. Disclaimer: the content on this channel is based on reliable public sources and credible online information. It is intended strictly for educational and analytical purposes. We do not promote or endorse political violence, hate speech, or any form of discrimination. Our goal is to inform, not to inflame. Thanks for being here. Let's stay informed together.
Welcome to this breaking news update. History has just been made in West Africa as Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger officially launch Africa's very first joint military force, a bold and unprecedented step in regional defense cooperation. In a formal declaration announced earlier today, leaders from all three nations confirmed the formation of this unified army under the alliance of Sahel states, aimed at protecting the region from terrorism, foreign interference, and cross-border threats. This is more than a military alliance. It's a symbol of African solidarity, sovereignty, and self-reliance. For decades, these nations have endured instability, conflict, and foreign-led interventions. Now, they are taking their destiny into their own hands, building a force by Africans. For Africans, the joint army will feature shared command structures, intelligence coordination, and cross-border operations, making it a powerful deterrent against extremist groups that have long plagued the Sahel region. This announcement comes amid rising calls across the continent for African solutions to African challenges. The creation of this joint army is a direct response to those calls, a clear message that the Sahel nations will no longer depend on outside powers to defend their people. The launch of this force has been widely celebrated across West Africa, with many citizens praising their leaders for finally turning promises of unity into action. As this military partnership unfolds, the world will be watching closely. But for the people of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, this is already a victory for independence, dignity, and hope.
Today's Africa is rising, and it's doing so with an unprecedented show of unity. Forget what you thought you knew about national borders and defense strategies, because something remarkable is happening right before our eyes. The very first joint army in the history of Africa has just been unveiled. And guess what? It's not stopping any minute soon. No, this isn't some temporary alliance. This is a game changer. The Sahel region has been grappling with the rise of extremist groups. These groups threaten not only the stability of individual nations, but the entire region. In the face of this common danger, unity becomes the most potent weapon. There's the land component, which includes infantry, tanks, and artillery. All three nations primarily use French for official purposes, which eases communication. Imagine the logistical challenge of coordinating troops who speak different languages. This shared language is a unifying factor that contributes to the seamless operation of the joint army. Then there's the air component, which consists of attack helicopters, drones, and transport planes. By pooling their intelligence resources, they gain a comprehensive understanding of the threats they face, enabling them to stay one step ahead, and executed to maximize their impact against terrorism and extremism in the Sahel region. The decision by Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger to unite their forces in the face of common challenges sets a remarkable precedent for the continent. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to show your support. Your engagement fuels our passion for bringing you more insightful content. Stay tuned for more updates, and let us continue to explore the fascinating world of African military affairs together. By joining hands, these nations are demonstrating that unity is indeed strength. They are confronting terrorism, promoting constitutional order, protecting civilians, and fostering sustainable development, all crucial aspects of ensuring peace and stability. The establishment of the Joint Army signifies a paradigm shift in regional security, proving that African nations are taking proactive steps to address their challenges head-on. It also highlights the importance of collective action in the fight against global terrorism, sending a strong message to extremist groups that their shared strength cannot be broken. Secondly, joint patrols along borders are a regular occurrence. This helps in monitoring activities across borders, identifying potential threats, and preventing cross-border attacks. Thirdly, joint military exercises are an essential part of their strategy. These exercises allow the forces to practice real-life scenarios, improving their coordination and response times. Furthermore, the Joint Army engages in humanitarian mine assistance. This is particularly important in areas affected by conflict where landmines pose a serious threat to civilians. Lastly, training and education play a vital role in their operations. The forces undergo rigorous training to enhance their skills and knowledge, ensuring they're well-equipped to handle any situation. He's the commander of the force, and his reputation precedes him. Known for his role in leading the fight against extremists in the region, he's the right man for the job. Even the logistics component is well covered. This joint force is leaving no stone unturned in its mission to restore peace and stability to the region. Second, the porous nature of their borders further compounds the problem. These borders, often long and underprotected, become easy conduits for extremists to operate. Without unified border security, the fight against terrorism seems almost impossible. First and foremost, it's all about combating terrorism. They're going after the extremist groups that have plagued the Sahel for far too long. The Joint Army operates within the framework of the Community of Sahelian Border Countries, also known as the CSM. This organization was established to promote cooperation among member states. The Army's actions are guided by the decisions made by the Conference of Heads of State of the CSM, ensuring that their efforts are aligned with the broader regional goals. Second, restoring constitutional order is another key objective. After a series of coups in the region, restoring democratic rule is crucial for stability. Third, protecting civilians caught in the crossfire is a top priority. These forces are there to shield innocent lives from the horrors of terrorism. And finally, the Joint Army aims to promote sustainable development. They believe that lasting peace can only be achieved when the underlying issues that fuel instability are addressed. Third, limited resources pose yet another challenge. Combating terrorism requires significant resources, both financial and human. By joining forces, these nations aim to pool their resources for a more effective response. Fourth, a history of coups adds a layer of complexity. Each of these nations has experienced its share of military coups, which can destabilize regions. The Joint Army Initiative could potentially help stabilize the region by focusing on common threats. Finally, the absence of legitimate regional institutions creates a vacuum that extremists are eager to fill. The lack of strong regional bodies to address their concerns leaves a void that these groups exploit. The Joint Army could serve as a crucial step towards filling this gap. But wait, there's more. Their decision to unite is a beacon of hope in a region that has seen far too much instability and violence. Now let's dive into how this collaboration is shaping up. This groundbreaking move is shaking up West Africa like never before. Our first stop is the Sahel region of Africa, where three nations, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, are facing a common enemy, terrorism. But instead of standing divided, they have chosen unity. On June 22, 2023, these nations took a historic step. They launched the first trilateral joint army in the Sahel region. Why? Because they realized that a threat this big needs a united response. Terrorism doesn't recognize borders, and neither can our defenses. This joint force isn't just a symbol of solidarity. It's a powerful tool against a common foe. It's a testament to the belief that together they stand stronger than any extremist group or threat. This alliance sends a strong message that resonates far beyond their borders. It's a message of unity, resilience, and the unwavering commitment to protect their people from the scourge of terrorism. As we witness this historic moment, let's take a closer look at the driving forces behind this bold move. Three nations, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, have joined forces to form a united front against the rising tide of extremism. And let me tell you, their shared goal is nothing short of remarkable. These nations are stepping up to the plate, ready to protect their own. They're tired of relying on others, and they're taking matters into their own hands. What they're doing is not just about defense, it's about empowerment. It's about sending a clear message that they won't be intimidated. It's a stance that echoes around the world. So join me as we unpack this story that goes beyond headlines. We'll delve into the reasons, the impacts, and the ripple effects this move will have not just for these three nations, but for all of us who value peace and stability in a changing world. Fasten your seatbelts because we're about to embark on a journey through a landscape where unity is proving to be the ultimate strength. These countries aren't just uniting by chance. There are compelling reasons that have brought them together. First, the threat of terrorism looms large. As we analyze the reasons behind this historic move, it's clear that these nations aren't just fighting a common enemy. They're working towards a stable and secure future for all. Initially, the plan was for each country to contribute 5,000 soldiers to the joint force. That's 15,000 troops in total. Here's an interesting twist. The force is structured into three main components. And here's a fascinating aspect of this collaboration. Unlike typical joint ventures, the language barrier is minimal. So what exactly is the game plan? The Joint Army's mission is multifaceted. Let's take a closer look at the operations of this dynamic force. Here's an overview of their approach. Firstly, the Joint Army focuses on intelligence sharing. As we delve deeper into the inner workings of this extraordinary force, it becomes evident that their operations are meticulously planned. In conclusion, the launch of the first Joint Army in Africa is a groundbreaking development with far-reaching implications. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery.
As reactions continue to pour in from across the continent, one thing is clear. Africa is demanding respect, sovereignty, and accountability. Was this just a diplomatic misstep or a deeper sign of shifting global alliances? We'll be watching closely. If you found this story important, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real, unfiltered African news. This is Talk of Africa 360, telling the stories that matter.